How many of you have ever heard of, been to, experienced a Build-A-Bear workshop? For those of you who may not know what this is like one of the coolest things. You go to this workshop, and they have all these different stuffed animals, and you can build whatever you want to build, and you can make it look like whatever you want to look like. What it look like? You can have little accessories. You know, you can like dress them up like movie stars or whatever. Steve Moss, where's Steve Moss? He's got a Mike Gundy bear that he sleeps with. McCracken, Brother McCracken down here, he's got 3 bears. He started with the Kevin Durant bear, and we all know what happened to that one. Then he built a Russell Westbrook bear. And after the playoffs, at this point, he's in the closet, and now he's got his secret James Harden bear out that he sleeps with. And we're gonna do something like that this morning, only a little bit different. We're gonna build a best friend. Got a new app for my phone. It's kind of cool. We're gonna build a best friend. We have a build a best friend workshop. But I'm gonna need some help. I'm gonna need some help from you guys and from my lovely and talented assistant. Could I have a hand for the lovely and talented assistant? Who's going to take this high-tech data transfer device and enter our stuff that we didn't erase before. I may need a new assistant. I'm not sure. But what I'm going to have, what I'm looking for is I need some words that you would associate with a best friend. Like what attribute would you want your best friend to have? So I need a volunteer. Who's got a word? Oh, Alvy's got a word. Hang on, I'm coming, Alvy. What would be your word?
Dependability. Are you going to be there when you say you're going to be?
Dependability. Good word. Who else? Who down here has got a word? I know you got a word. Give me a word.
Trustworthy.
Trustworthy. Excellent word. Very important word. Who else? Who else have we got? Got a word. Got a word. Man, y'all are just loaded up with words. Okay, what we got? Give me a word.
Loyalty.
Loyalty. It's a good word. It's a good word. Who else? Who had one over here?
Honest.
Honest. Honest. And back here? Oh.
Serious.
Too serious.
Funny.
Funny. Good. I'll tell you what they did first service.
Helping.
Oh, helping? Wealthy. Wealthy? Wealthy? Kind. Healthy, wealthy, and kind. First service, we had good cook. That had me sold right there. These are all great words. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these words. We're going to take these words, and I'm going to put them in my app. And theoretically, when I get done with this, we will have our best friend. Another couple. Give me 1 second. And so we should now have our best friend. Man, what a mess. Well, that's disappointing.
I do not have to take this kind of abuse. I'm just going to go backstage and continue writing some more James McCracken jokes.
Good. And hang on to him because he needs them. Okay, you got me. You really can't take an app or a high-tech device such as this and build a best friend. But these are all great words, aren't they? I mean, if you had a best friend, you'd want them to be all these things. One I want to focus on, though, is trustworthy. Trustworthy is an important word for a best friend. You're gonna take your best friend and you're gonna tell them secrets, and you want to know that those secrets are safe. You're gonna tell them about your failures. You're gonna tell them about when you got angry or when you did great, and you want to be able to be honest with your best friend. And if they're not trustworthy, you can't very well do that. I'm just guessing here, but I would say most of you have got someone that if you get a ticket from the policeman on your way home, and you need to share that with somebody, you got a friend that you would call to complain about getting a ticket. If you're nervous about an event coming up and it's got you worried inside, you got somebody that you would call and say, hey, I got this and I'm worried about it. You've got a big test coming up at school. You're going to talk to your friends about that stuff. And it's going to be a friend that you're honest with, that knows you. They know how you feel about your coworkers or your parents or your teachers or who you got a crush on. You'll talk to your best friend about that stuff. You'll be open and honest with them. But it's funny, with all that, we still have a disconnect with someone who knows us, knows our secrets, knows our failures, knows our successes, knows how we feel about everything. We have a little bit of a disconnect there. Well, let me just ask you, how often do you talk to God? You want to talk about a trustworthy best friend? First off, he already knows your failures, and he loves you anyway. He already knows when you got mad and your anger got the best of you, and he doesn't love you any less for that. He knows the very best parts of you and the very worst. But yet we struggle to tell the truth to God. We struggle to go to God with those things that we so quickly will go to a friend with. With the Father, He's already got all that. He already knows all that's going on in our life. You're not going to shock Him. You're not going to surprise Him. And you're not going to run Him off, because He's always going to be there for you. But because we have that disconnect, it's just something we need to explore a little bit more, and I would encourage you all to spend a little bit of time every day talking to God and being honest with Him, because He already knows. But because it's such an important subject, my very talented assistant is going to explore that further. So, please, take it away.
Thank you, sir. All right, so we already know that life throws all kinds of different situations at us, right? And we have choices in the way we respond to them. Sometimes we respond with really good choices, and sometimes not so much. What we're going to do this morning is we're going to look at 3 different scenarios where we might not make the best choices. So, scenario 1, your parents have dropped you off at the movie, and you're going to see The Incredibles 2. Now, you've got your tickets, your popcorn, your candy, you're heading to the theater, and one of your friends says, hey, instead of seeing Incredibles 2, let's go see Avengers Infinity War. Hey, you know 2 things. Number 1, the Avengers movie is PG-13, and number 2, your parents have told you that if you ever see a PG-13 movie without their permission, you're going to be grounded so hard you can get part-time work as a lightning rod. But your friends are really into this idea, and you don't want to be the odd man out, so what do? You go see the Avengers, right? Yeah. But later, when your parents come to pick you up from the movie, and they ask you how it was, well, you don't want them to know that you saw a PG-13 movie, so you make up stuff about Incredibles, right? Yeah, but later, you don't feel so good because you had to lie to your parents about that movie. You knew when you went to that movie you were going to have to lie to them. What were you thinking? And now your stomach is all knotted up and you just want to go in your bedroom and hide for a while. And even worse, not only do you feel guilty around your parents, but even if they never find out what you did, God knows. And what you've done has now created a gap between you and him. God already knows what you've done. You can't lie to him. You can't hide from him like you can your parents. And now you're stuck with a break in your relationship with God. Scenario number 2, you're at work. You get a phone call from some friends you haven't seen in a while. They want you to join them for lunch. However, you know that your 30-minute lunch break is not nearly long enough to meet your friends for lunch at a restaurant. So you come up with a plan. You tell your boss, oh, I've got this really bad toothache. I need to go to the dentist. Can I have a couple hours off this afternoon? Your boss is so sympathetic. He says, just take the whole afternoon off, offers you some ibuprofen, wishes you well, hopes you feel a lot better so you can come back to work. Well, now you feel really guilty because he was so nice and you did not expect that. So when you go to see your friends and meet them for lunch, while they are really, really excited to see you, you are not that excited about being there. All of a sudden, you're not very hungry. Food does not sound good because, again, your stomach's all knotted up. You just feel bad. Your friends are having a great time, but you can't enjoy yourself because you were dishonest. And you promised yourself you will never lie to your boss again. Scenario number 3. It's the middle of the night, and you have the munchies in a bad way. So you sneak into the kitchen very quietly. You very quietly get your cereal and milk out, pour yourself a bowl, very quietly. You pour that milk over your cereal. Hopefully it doesn't snap, crackle, and pop. You very quietly eat your cereal. And then you very quietly put everything away because you don't want anyone to know you've been there. You don't want to leave a mess. So you put your cereal back and you sneak back to your bedroom with no one the wiser knowing you were there. However, the next morning when you come into the kitchen, it smells like a skunk funeral at a dumpster convention because in all that quietness, you forgot to put the milk back in the refrigerator and it's been out and opened all night long. Your wife is livid and she asks you with fire in her eyes, who could have left the milk out? Who indeed, you ask, and you ponder that thoughtfully. Well, your wife is still mad, but she doesn't really suspect you, so she turns to your daughter and starts questioning her about it. You are surprised that you were so quick to deny the truth here. But the longer you let the lie sit, the worse you feel. It just sits like a rock in your stomach. Ugh. You decide to pray to God and say, ask him for help to do the right thing. And when you open up to him, you suddenly feel lighter and feel more at peace, less stressed and less nervous. So you have the courage to confess to your wife that I let the milk out. It was an accident, but I am so, so sorry. Please forgive me. She's still mad, but you have a great conversation with your family about being honest. Now, all 3 of these scenarios that we looked at, maybe the people didn't make the best choices, and we do that a lot, don't we? But even if no one ever finds out what we did, God still knows. He knows we're not perfect. He sees the past, the present, and the future, and he knows everything we've done. We can't lie to him. And so we need to be reminded on a regular basis what he did for us because of our wrongdoing. We need to be reminded daily, if not weekly, just that we have a Savior, someone who will forgive us and who has sacrificed himself for us.
Thank you so much for being a part of our family service this Memorial Day weekend. Hey, raise your hand if you're a kid out there, okay? Even have Thank you, Mr. McMillan. All right, okay? Yeah. Hey, you know, we have learned all kinds of great things today, all right? Mr. Brady talked with us about the Boogiean variable. Excuse me? Oh, it's not the Boogiean, it's the Boolean. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. The Boolean effect. Okay, the Boolean variable. That's what it is, all right? And the idea of the Boolean effect is that if something happens, then what? Something, help me out, something else happens, right? Okay, that's the Boolean effect, right? And so we learned that. Mr. Grieg talked with us about some of the characteristics that we would like in the relationships that we have, and one of them was someone who would be trustworthy, someone that we can talk to and know that will listen to us and know that will keep their word. And we found out that God makes a trustworthy friend because that is one of his characteristics. He is a trustworthy God capable of listening to us and caring for us. Well, then Miss Kerry and some of her friends came out, and we found out that sometimes we're not trustworthy, that sometimes we tell lies. And we saw 3 different situations. The first was a boy who lied to his parents about what? The movie, that's right. They said, you can't go to this movie, but he wanted to go to this movie, and so that's what he did. So he told a lie to his parents and made them believe, all right, that he had gone to another movie instead. So what lie did he tell? Well, first he told the lie to his parents about which movie he had actually gone to. But you know what? That boy actually had told 2 lies before he ever told the lie to his parents, hadn't he? He told a lie to himself because his parents said, as your parents, you need to trust us that this is the movie you should go see and not this movie. He made a lie to himself that he knew better than his parents did what was best for him. So he had already told 1 lie before he told the lie to his parents. Then guess what? Even he had told 2 lies before he actually lied to his parents because he also told himself that he would be able to lie to them without paying the consequences. And the Boogiean effect, all right, the Boolean variable says that if something happens, then something else will happen. And that is this: if we lie, we will be found out, right? Why did he lie? Well, he lied because he really, really wanted something. I mean, he thought, I don't want to go to this movie. I want to go to this movie with my friends. It'd be more fun. We lie for all kinds of different reasons, don't we? He lied because he wanted to be with his friends. He lied because he really, really wanted something. He wanted something very, very badly. He ever wanted something so badly that you were willing to lie about it? That's interesting. The book of James, in chapter 3, verse 16, says this. James 3:16 says, hey, that when we have selfishness or jealousy in our life, then disorder and all kinds of evil things happen in our lives. So this that you see before us, this is some of the lies or the reasons that we lie. So we found out that sometimes we lie because of friends. Sometimes we lie try it again. Sometimes we lie because we really want something. How about the second scenario? How about the person who decided he wanted to go eat lunch with his friends, and so what did he do? He feigned a toothache. That's right. Here's something else about lying. He not only had to feign the toothache, but then to get away, he had to lie about the fact that he had a dental appointment. You know what I think? I think when he got back from that, if it would have worked out, he would have probably had to lie again because guess what? His boss is going to come and say, hey, how's your toothache? And how was your appointment with the dentist? And he didn't have a toothache and he didn't have a dentist appointment. So guess what? 1 lie and 2 lies we're going to lead to at least a third lie. Ever been in a situation where you just have to keep lying to cover yourself? Ooh, that hurts. Why is that? Why that? He was convinced that he couldn't have any fun at work, that he needed to be hanging out with his friends, so it caused him to lie. And how about that third scene of Kerry and her friends? The man who got up in the middle of the night, none of us have ever done this before, snuck down the stairs and been very quiet, opened the refrigerator door, covering the light. I've never done this before, I've just pretending. And getting out the food that we want and eating it and hoping nobody will find us out. And nobody found him out until the kitchen smelled like a rotten dairy cow the next morning. And then all of a sudden he was found out, and what did he do? Hey, who left the milk out? And he said, I don't know. Maybe the kids did it. Threw them right under the yellow school bus, right? Why did he lie? Why would a grown man lie to a grown woman about something like that? Well, I don't know. Maybe he was afraid it would make her angry. Maybe he was afraid that if he told a lie, she would be angry and she might not like him. Or that maybe he would feel rejected if she didn't like him. I don't know. We lie for lots of reasons. Maybe he lied because he was afraid of being rejected. So, let me ask you this question. How many of you have ever told a lie? Come on there. This is a good time to be truthful. All right? How many of you have told a lie in the last 7 days? Yeah, okay. Right. How many have told a lie in the last 24 hours? We don't have to answer that. All right? Why'd you lie? Well, what is it that causes us to lie? Because isn't it interesting that sometimes we lie to ourselves? We may say, I'm no good. I'm not valuable. No one loves me. We tell ourselves all kinds of lies that destroy our lives and make us make bad decisions. And sometimes, as we found out in the scenarios, we lie to other people for all kinds of reasons. Sometimes we lie to God, don't we? Sometimes we lie to God. Isn't that funny that we would lie to someone who we know knows the truth and knows everything about us? We lie to him by not allowing him to be God, by not really allowing him to do in our lives or to love us the way he wants to love us. Sometimes we say, God, I trust you, but we never talk with him. Our silence essentially is a lie to God. We have all kinds of things that we lie about. Sometimes we win. We want to win. And so we lie about whether we won or lost, maybe to impress other people. All kinds of different things that we do. Well, these things right here, these are all the reasons that we lie. But we don't want to send you home with this. We want to give you a couple ideas for how we can knock those things down and out of our lives. Because when we lie, bad things happen. When we lie, we are listening to voices that obviously are not true. When we lie, it leads us to more bad decisions, right? We've all been in that cycle before. So how do we effectively knock down those lies and the reasons for those lies in our life? Well, I can think of 3 things, all right? All right, here's first what I want to do. I need 3 helpers, okay? I need 3 kids who would come up and help me out, okay? I need 3 people who can throw a beanbag pretty doggone hard. I've got a girl over here, all right? Would you, all right? Okay, right over here. And let's see, do I have any boys? I'm seeing girls. I'm not seeing any boys. Okay? We got a boy? All right, come on up here, buddy. So these are the ways that we take down lies in our life. First, we have to know what the truth is in our mind. In order for us to recognize what is not true, what is a lie when it comes in our mind, we have to have our head filled with truth. And if you don't, you often will believe the lie and you will tell the lie to God, to yourself, or other people. we have to know the truth. Let's say that together. Know the truth. All right? Second, y'all, we have to believe it because it can't just stay in our heads. It has to move to our hearts. All right? So we have to believe the truth after we know the truth. Let's say at a count of 3, believe the truth. 1, 2, 3. Believe the truth. Third thing, we have to act on the truth. All right? We know it. It's in our heart. Then we have to act on it. I would even say sometimes you may not feel like doing the truthful thing, but you have to do it anyway, only because you know that it is the truth and not the lie, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have our 3 helpers, all right? They're going to help me today. They're going to help us show how we knock down lies in our life and the reasons that we lie by throwing the truth at them, all right? Here we go. I'm going to give this to you, all right? This is going to be, all right? I'm going to count to 3, all right? And I want everybody as loud as you can to say, I know the truth. I know the truth. And when you hear them say that, I want you to throw that as hard as you can at that, all right? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I know the truth. Whoa! Whoa, nice throw. Good job. Okay, here we go. All right, this is Adriana, all right? And Adriana stands for believing the truth. And so at the count of 3, all right, we're going to say together, I believe the truth. And when you hear that, you're going to throw it right at that and try to knock the whole thing down. 1, 2, 3. I believe the truth. Come on, Adriana. Oh, no! I need another bag. Can somebody get that bag for me? Adriana, I'm going to give you another chance. And here we go. We'll throw a little bit. Look, okay? God gets us close. Right at the middle, right there. 1, 2, 3. I believe the truth. Yeah! Good job, Adriana. All right, hey, Wyatt, how good are you, buddy?
I mean, pretty good.
You're pretty good, he says. Okay, all right, here we go. All right, okay, we're going to say, I do the truth at the count of 3, all right? When you hear us yell that, you're going to throw it, all right? 1, 2, 3, I do the truth. Oh, bang! Oh, listen, what an arm. Come on, here we go. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, I do the truth. Come on, Wyatt. Oh, yeah. Very good. Give these guys a hand, all right? Thank you, guys. Jesus said, you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And by that, those very, very simple words, we know that when we are not living truth, when we are telling lies to ourselves, when we are telling lies to others, when we are telling lies to God, that we are chained, we are captive. We are not living a life of freedom that God and His Son Jesus have in mind for us. We know the truth. We believe the truth. We act out on the truth every day. We do that by knowing God's Word. My question for you is, do you and your family, are you consistently involved in knowing the truth, in placing the truth in your life by reading His Word and exposing your heart and your mind and your life to the Word? Another way we can do that is by reading biographies and reading stories about other people in history who have lived by the truth. This summer, in just a few weeks, we're going to present you with a devotional that you can work through for this summer that is filled with the stories of people who have changed the world by living according to the truth. We hope that you and your family will participate in that. There's another great way of placing the truth in our lives, and that is by singing truth about the God of truth. It reminds us who He is and who we are. Today, we thank you again for being a part of this service. We want to close this service by standing and singing about that God of the impossible who leads us to all truth. Let's stand and sing together.